Napata, 728 BC. The smell of burning incense drifted across the temple as King Piye stood beneath the shadow of the sacred mountain. Hundreds of miles away, Egypt was tearing itself apart. And before the Nile flooded again, a king from the south would do the impossible. History remembers Egypt's pharaohs. It almost erased the ones who conquered Egypt itself. There are chapters of history that disappear quietly, not because they never happened, but because remembering them would force us to question everything we think we know. For centuries, the story of ancient Egypt has been told as if power flowed in only one direction, from north to south, from Egypt into Nubia. Museums displayed golden masks. Textbooks celebrated dynasties. Empires were carefully catalogued. Yet one of the greatest reversals in ancient history was pushed into the margins. An African kingdom, born beyond Egypt's southern frontier, rose from the deserts of Nubia, crossed the Nile, captured Egypt, and crowned its own kings as pharaohs. They became known as the Black Pharaohs. For decades, their achievements were dismissed as a brief interruption. Their monuments crumbled beneath desert sand. Their names faded from popular memory, not because they lacked greatness, but because history often remembers power through the eyes of those who lost it least gracefully. Tonight, we uncover the empire that was never supposed to disappear. And before this story ends, you'll discover why these kings may have preserved ancient Egyptian civilization when it was closest to collapse. Long before the conquest, long before Egypt bowed to Nubian kings, there was Kush. South of Egypt, where the Nile cut through modern-day Sudan, another civilization grew beside the same river. The land looked harsher, the desert stretched farther, but beneath the dry earth lay unimaginable wealth. Gold, ivory, ebony, rare animals. Trade routes connecting Central Africa to the Mediterranean. While Egypt looked north toward the sea, Kush looked in every direction. For centuries, the two kingdoms lived as rivals, sometimes trading, sometimes fighting, sometimes ruling one another. Egypt invaded Nubia more than once, believing the south existed only to serve the north. Temples were seized, cities occupied, resources extracted, but conquest rarely destroys identity. Sometimes it strengthens it, because every empire leaves behind something unexpected. Ideas, architecture, religion, military knowledge. Kush absorbed Egyptian culture without surrendering its own, and over generations, the student quietly became the rival. To me, this is one of history's greatest ironies. Empires often believe they are exporting superiority. In reality, they are training the people who may one day replace them. By the 8th century BC, Egypt was no longer the unstoppable empire the world feared. Its rulers fought each other. Regional governors claimed independence. Priests competed with kings. The once mighty civilization fractured into competing kingdoms. Chaos creates opportunity. Far to the south, King Piye watched. Unlike Egypt's divided rulers, Piye governed a disciplined kingdom centered at Napata. His authority rested on both military strength and religious legitimacy. He believed the ancient traditions of Egypt had been corrupted. He did not see himself as an invader. He believed he was restoring divine order. That belief would change history. But Piye's greatest victory would not be won with swords. It would be won through something far more powerful, a claim that convinced Egypt itself to accept a foreign king as pharaoh. In 728 BC, Piye marched north. The Nile became his highway. Fortress after fortress surrendered. Some cities resisted. Others opened their gates without battle. His campaign was astonishingly fast. Egypt's rulers underestimated him. They assumed Kush was still the weaker kingdom. They were wrong. Piye defeated coalition after coalition. Cities that had ruled for centuries now knelt before a king from the south. But something remarkable happened after victory. Piye did not burn temples. He did not erase Egyptian religion. He restored it. He demanded rituals be observed correctly. He honored ancient traditions. He portrayed himself not as a conqueror, but as the rightful guardian of Egypt. That decision changed everything. because conquest through legitimacy lasts longer than conquest through fear. History repeatedly teaches the same lesson. Power survives longest when people believe it belongs to you. Force wins battles. Belief wins civilizations. With Piye's victory, the 25th dynasty was born. The Black Pharaohs now ruled both Kush and Egypt. For nearly a century, they controlled one of the largest empires in the ancient world. Trade expanded, temples were rebuilt, massive construction projects resumed. Ancient traditions that had been neglected returned. The kingdom experienced a cultural revival. One ruler became especially famous: Taharqa, warrior, builder, statesman. His monuments stretched across the Nile Valley. His armies defended Egypt against one of history's most terrifying superpowers, the Assyrian Empire. Here's the part history rarely emphasizes. The Black Pharaohs were not outsiders destroying Egypt. They became some of Egypt's greatest protectors. At the very moment Egypt was falling apart, it was Kush that fought to preserve it. Everything changes when you see the story from that perspective. No empire lasts forever. In the east, another giant was rising, Assyria. Its armies were unlike anything the ancient world had seen. Professional soldiers, iron weapons, siege engines, relentless expansion. The Assyrians wanted Egypt, and standing in their way was Taharqa. Battles erupted across the Nile Delta. Victory shifted back and forth. Cities changed hands. Temples became fortresses. Eventually, Assyria captured Memphis, then advanced farther south. The Black Pharaohs were forced to retreat into Nubia. To many historians, this marked their defeat. But defeat is not always disappearance. Sometimes it is survival. Because while Egypt changed rulers once again, Kush remained independent. Its capital shifted farther south to Meroe. Its civilization continued for centuries. Now comes the buried chapter. For generations, many scholars minimize the achievements of the Black Pharaohs. Some portrayed Kush as merely copying Egypt. Others reduced nearly 100 years of Kushite rule to little more than a historical footnote. Yet archaeology has steadily uncovered another picture: the pyramids of Sudan, royal tombs, temples, inscriptions, entire cities. Evidence that Kush was not simply Egypt's shadow, it was a powerful civilization with its own identity. The hidden truth isn't that the Black Pharaohs existed. It's that their importance was underestimated for generations. Sometimes history isn't erased with fire. Sometimes it disappears because too few people choose to tell it. And I think that's the most dangerous form of forgetting. Not deliberate destruction, but quiet neglect. Entire civilizations can fade simply because they stop being included in the story we repeat. Remember Piye, standing beneath the sacred mountain, preparing to march north. He believed he was chosen by the gods. History often treats that belief as ambition. But when we examine what followed, his campaign restored stability. His dynasty revived ancient traditions. His successors defended Egypt against overwhelming enemies. Whether driven by faith or politics, his actions reshaped one of humanity's greatest civilizations. The king history expected to remain in the shadows became Pharaoh of Egypt. Today, more pyramids stand in Sudan than in Egypt. Many remain almost empty of tourists, silent, weathered, waiting. Their builders are rarely mentioned alongside Ramses, Tutankhamun, or Khufu. Yet these monuments belong to one of Africa's greatest empires. The story of the Black Pharaohs reminds us that history is never a fixed monument. It is a conversation. Every generation decides which voices become louder and which disappear beneath the sand. Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: civilizations are not forgotten because they lacked greatness. They are forgotten when later generations stop asking questions. And when that happens, the silence becomes more powerful than the truth itself. The Black Pharaohs did not simply conquer Egypt. They revived it. They defended it. They ruled it. And for centuries, their story stood in the shadows of the civilization they helped preserve. History eventually brought them back into the light. Not because the evidence changed, but because people finally looked where others had stopped searching. So here's the question. If an empire powerful enough to rule Egypt could nearly disappear from popular memory, what other chapters of history are still buried beneath the stories we've always been told?